Hey everybody, it's Aaron Norris with the Norris Group. It is Friday, January 20th, Inauguration Day, and what would you change about Dodd-Frank if you could? That and much more as we cover the biggest headlines in real estate. Don't forget to tune in to our radio show and podcast this week as we have Craig Hill. He is a loan officer here at the Norris Group talking about the biggest job for a broker in a hard money company and how we determine how it's safe to do a loan with investors. You might want to hear about that. And this coming week, we're going to try something a little bit different. In anticipation of our event on February 4th, 2% mortgage rates, 40 trillion in debt, and other surprise endings. We're going to try something new by way of doing a newsletter. It's usually part of the subscription, but we're going to release it to everyone because we don't have enough time to cover everything that we have in the book. It's 250 pages, 400 charts, and there's just no way we can cover it all. So we're going to do a radio show / podcast. It will end up online and on the radio show, but for the first 500 people or so, you'll be able to tune in and ask questions, and we'll go through the newsletter and we'll cover half of one of the chapters that are inside the report. So I'll email out information on that. If you're on our email list, you'll get an email probably Friday. The National Association of Home Builders reported builder confidence continues to hold steady but decreased 2 points to 67 this week. The Mortgage Bankers Association reported a 0.8% increase in mortgage applications last week. Production on multifamily houses across the nation increased 11.3% in December, despite it being crazy snowy outside. That's great. Optimism for home remodeling continues to reign strong in the fourth quarter, coming in at 53. And Freddie Mac reported mortgage rates dropped for the third week in a row, with 30-year rates now at 4.09% and 15-year rates at 3.34%. Billionaire investor George Soros says incoming President Trump will fail, and he put his money where his mouth is, and he bet against the S&P, which has gone up over 5% in the last since Election Day, and he's lost close to $1 billion of his $30 billion fortune. Downtown Los Angeles revitalization has definitely spilled over into Inglewood as they prepare for the Rams Stadium to come in, and I think it's supposed to be finished in the next 3 years. Now we get news that the Chargers are leaving San Diego and coming up to Los Angeles, so will it be a case of diminishing returns? Will LA see a big boost with both stadiums going into play at the same time? I know a lot of investors are in the area. They're holding tight for the next 3 years for the stadium to be built and hopefully get some of the great value that the surrounding neighborhoods have had over the last few years, but we will have to wait and see. Deutsche Bank has finalized a $7.2 billion settlement with the Justice Department over dishonest practices for mortgage-backed securities back in 2008. It still baffles me almost 10 years later that we're still getting these stories that this isn't all done yet. But we've heard that at I Survive Real Estate that a lot of these banks just aren't being super aggressive because they're still in litigation mode. Maybe that'll change under the new administration. We'll have to wait and see. According to Zillow, the White House is worth something like $379 million, and it's expected to increase 3% this year. Well, the White House has 132 bedrooms, 32 bathrooms, all on 18 acres. I would not want to clean that house or mow that lawn. So today, Donald Trump becomes our 45th president, and the real estate community is already scratching its head with the selection of his Dr. Carson as head secretary choice. Real estate investors have a lot to pay attention to besides that, as one of Trump's things he wants to focus on is Dodd-Frank. Well, Congressman Hinzerling from Texas is entering into his third term as chairman of the House Financial Services Committee. He introduced H.R. 5983 back in June. It's also known as the Financial Choice Act, or Creating Hope and Opportunity for Investors, Consumers, and Entrepreneurs. All these acronyms. One more thing to remember. Well, will this effort be able to unwind Dodd-Frank? And now that we've got Steve Mnuchin, a former hedge fund investor and Trump's pick for Treasury Secretary, come in line, I think it's likelihood that some of the things are going to change. So what would you like to see rolled back from Dodd-Frank? It's not all bad, but what would you like to see rolled back if you could? I would love to hear from you. I think for me, I'd like to see the appraisal companies, the sort of the middlemen, go away. I'd like to see appraisals get the full amount that they typically got. I don't think they needed to insert the middleman, but I'd like to hear what you'd have to say. What would you like to see changed in Dodd-Frank? If you're on YouTube, please leave a comment below and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss a beat. If you're on Facebook, please don't forget to not only like the Norris Group page, but don't forget to add us to your See First list and with notifications on. Leave your comments below the video. And if we miss something, share the story on our comment sections on either YouTube or Facebook, and we'll make sure to include it on our blog at thenorrisgroup.com/blog. Coming up February 1st, we have one more event before our big event. It's going to be the 2017 Los Angeles Real Estate Summit. We do that in partnership with a whole bunch of people out in the Glendale area. You'll find that on our website. Of course, we've got 2% interest, 40 trillion debt, and other surprise endings coming up in Riverside. The Norris Group is hosting that at the Riverside Convention Center. We are about to sell out, actually, but if you want to tune in, we'll send out, if you're on our email list, the newsletter for this quarter, and then we'll follow it up with a webinar that will become the radio show. We're going to tape that on Wednesday from noon to 1. You'll find out more information, and I'll send out the email today, Friday. After that, February 7th, we'll be doing 10 life-changing days of a real estate investor at OC Phoebe, and then 2 days later we'll be at OC RIA doing the same talk. So 2 chances to check us out in Orange County, and then February 15th we'll be doing that talk at Alpine Premier Investments. And I forget where that's at, but it's on the calendar. For more information on hard money lending, including fix and flip, buy and hold, and new construction projects, check out thenorrisgroup.com. Under hard money, you can apply. You can even pre-qualify for a loan starting at just 0.6 to 0.9%. It's awesome. And if you want more information on passive investing with trust deeds, check out tngtrustdeeds.com. Have a fantastic weekend. Drive safely because it's raining, and you know how Californians are for rain. And we'll see you next week.